Well, business players in the fintech and consumer services industry are welcoming the government's policy for the new permit moratorium or a temporary halt to the issuing of permits regarding new online lending platforms. Now, many say that this policy shows the government's serious intentions in resolving illegal online lending platform issues.
Indonesia's Minister of Communication and Informatics, Johnny G. Plate, said that President Joko Widodo will put into effect the moratorium of online lending platform permits, both for the ones submitted by fintechs and new lending online platform. The step has been appreciated by the Indonesian Fintech Lending Association, or AFPI, and the Indonesian Consumers Foundation, or YLKI, because it shows the government's commitment to resolve the illegal online lending issues. The deputy chairman of AFPI, Sunu Widyatmoko, expressed his support for the moratorium. He also assured that the new registration of online lending platforms will not affect the business climate of the existing online lending platforms registered. There are no changes in the legal online lending platforms moratorium, but for the platforms that has been registered, they will be upscaled to be permitted to operate. With this moratorium, it can increase and filter the platforms that are willing to comply with the fintech business regulations in Indonesia. To curb the growth of illegal online lending platforms, Sunu explained the importance of raising the public's education and literacy to prevent them being lured into illegal online lending offers. Sunu further said that before accepting loans from illegal online lending platforms, the public should make sure whether the platform has been registered at the OJK or not. He also asked the public to pay attention to the name of the platform. Sunu said in some cases, consumers are often misguided because the illegal platforms' names are very similar with the platforms registered at the OJK. Sunu also added that besides public literacy, the regulators need to be proactive in looking out for illegal online lending practices. Because all this time, the regulators tend to take action only if there are complaints from consumers.
Ini ditingkatkan langkah pengamanannya. Oh, bisa. Tidak perlu harus laporan masyarakat, bisa dengan secara proaktif setiap hari pagi siang malam 24 jam disisir ya. Kalau seandainya ada aplikasi di Indonesia ini ya yang entah itu dari website, entah itu dari aplikasi di App Store atau Google Play yang tidak memiliki tanda daftar atau berizin ke OJK, langsung aja diturunkan gitu sampai mereka bisa menunjukkan. Itu langkah proaktif menurut saya perlu diambil dalam kondisi darurat seperti ini.
YLKI staff for complaint and legal matters, Rio Pambodo, explained that since 2018 until 2021, the consumer complaints regarding illegal online lending platforms reached the top 5 highest complaints delivered by consumers. Rio said consumers often receive unjust behavior when billed, such as intimidation and threats. A number of consumers also reported how the faces of borrowers were edited onto pornography contents. Furthermore, he also responded positively on the moratorium of new online lending platform permits, because it shows how the government is serious in resolving the existing illegal online platform cases and will reopen them once the condition is conducive.
Ya, kalau itu ya saya setuju terkait dengan hal ini karena apa? Ya kita udah kadung ya terkait udah masuk pinjaman ilegal, pinjaman online ini di Indonesia, tapi banyak permasalahan. Yang saya setuju adalah bahwa ya nggak usah diperluas dulu, tapi ini diberesin dulu kasusnya. Apakah ini secara cash atau apa? Ini secara kasuistik atau secara sistemik? Ini selesaikan dulu secara internal.
Previously, President Joko Widodo has given clear and firm instructions regarding the moratorium on the new fintech permits of legal online lending platforms. Currently, the online lending platform practices has become the focus of the Indonesian government. This is due to the increasing number of crimes related to online lending. The government is focusing on online lending governance as more than 68 million people are involved in online lending. Not only that, the turnover among online lending platforms has reached 260 trillion rupiah.
And we're continuing our dialogue with Pak Sunu Widyatmoko, the Deputy Chairman of the Indonesian Joint Funding Fintech Association, talking about P2P lending and all the concerns, including the illegal ones. Now, Pak Sunu, previously we were talking about how to stop P2P, how to stop illegal P2P lending platforms. Now, of course, the government are forming a special task force. The government are issuing a moratorium to stop the permits for new ones, but is this all really effective, or will illegal P2P lending platforms just keep on popping up and it's just going to be the fight between the police and these criminals forever?
Yes, what the government now is doing, I think it's very effective to fight these illegals. But we know that this is like a marathon. It cannot be finished because the core of the problem is the financial literacy. So financial literacy is everyone's problem. We have to fight this. We have to educate our people. So what the government doing is trying to fight the illegals, to eradicate the illegals. But the understanding of the people, the education of the people about the how much they should borrow, and when they borrow, they have to return the money. That's something that they have to learn, and they cannot get away, especially in this digital era. Because some people might think that if they can borrow money easily out of nowhere, and without meeting the people, the money is right into their pocket right a few minutes after they apply. And it doesn't mean they cannot get away easily, because the data are there. That if we have the record, if they borrow money and don't repay, the record is there. So I think the fintech lending is also another two sides of the coin. The other flip of the coin is that it's also an opportunity for our people to build their credit history. Okay. Something that only be available for the middle class income, right? To build their credit history. So if these people are given a chance of lower credit history, then over time they could be classified as a bankable people. So this is also an opportunity of these people to have access to financing, not only for their consumer needs, but also for their productive activities. So I think we have to see it from the holistic point of view.
Okay. Now, of course, you're saying the problem is also with the public's education and literacy. However, interest rates are very high in P2P lending, and the OJK are pushing P2P lending platforms to push down these loan rates. So how can the OJK and the government do that?
I think there are a number of things that the government can do. I think if you could provide us with more data on the assessment for the credit analysis. So it's like a good access to the Dukcapil, not only the ordinary access of Dukcapil, but also the one with biometric data. Because we know the fraud level here in Indonesia is quite high now. It's public secret that some people have more than 2 KTP, right? So, I mean, in order to fight this, we have to reduce the fraud level. And the fraud level has to start from the government data and information. That's one of the key also.
All right, so is it possible at all for P2P lending platforms to decrease their interest rates in the near future?
I think yes. We are optimistic. I think if we all work together, it is not something that is impossible. Something that could be done over time, especially on the fraud level and the cost of the borrowing itself. Because we all know under the POJK 77, there are some rules that we need to comply, and these rules of course cost us money. So if this could be revisited, then I think, yes, we could work together to lower down the interest rates.
All right, so it is possible, but as you were mentioning before, a big problem is literacy. But other than that, according to you, what is the future of P2P lending in Indonesia, and how can the industry be improved so that it helps financial inclusion in Indonesia?
Okay, one, the illegals should not be operating here in Indonesia, that's for sure, one. And two, we should work together to focus more on the productive lending, on the SMEs. Well, of course, the need of the consumers is also need to be fulfilled, but if we put more of our efforts into the productive lending, helping the SMEs, I think it would be meeting the president's expectation that in 2030 we would be the 7th largest economy in the country.
All right, so we're all hoping for the best and a quicker resolution to this P2P lending platform concerns. Pak Sunu, thank you so much. Pak Sunu Widyatmoko, the Deputy Chairman of the Indonesian Joint Funding Fintech Association, for your time and insights.